You ever notice that every time you're scrolling through social media, you see another Caribbean person posting finally back home with a big plate of curry goat and a sea view in the background? Suddenly, the same people who were flexing their winter coats and Starbucks lattes overseas are now giving full TED Talks. And why now? Home is where the heart is. What's going on? Why are so many Caribbean nationals flocking back home after years of chasing the better life abroad? Is it the food? Are the vibes? Or did they just get tired of paying rent that costs more than a mortgage back home?
Family, you know what people left Jamaica and left other countries and come here have to be roommate to other person. When we say Canada not designed for single people, don't think, allow me to tell. Rent is expensive here in Canada. I swear to God, rent is expensive. Rent is one of the things that take a lot of your money. We not even mention food.
Let's break it down, and trust me, by the end of this video, you might just start Googling flights to the Caribbean yourself. Now, for decades, Caribbean people have been spreading across the globe like seasoning in a pot of Sunday stew. Canada, the US, the UK, we've been everywhere, chasing degrees, job opportunities, and those first dreams we were promised as kids. But now, the tide is turning faster than your auntie gossiping at the family reunion. People are packing up and are heading straight back to the island. And it's not just because of a sudden crave of bacon shark. In today's video, I'm diving into the top reason why this mass return is happening. From cultural nostalgia to economic advantages. Yes. You heard that right. And even a rediscovery of identity. I'm breaking it all down. Trust me, you know me. I'm giving you the real talk and a little bit of island spice. If you ask any Caribbean person why they miss home, well, they'll give you a list so long you could wrap around the island twice. The food, the music, the freedom to dance in a random supermarket aisle without judgment. It's all part of the experience. Think about it. When you're abroad, you might get a taste of home at a Caribbean festival or a takeout spot that's charging $20 for a plate of rice and peas. But it's never the same. The vibes are artificial, the seasoning is suspect, and don't get me started on the portion size. Back home, at least where I'm from, you could roll up to a neighbor's house uninvited and leave with a full-blown meal. Overseas, try showing up unannounced to a co-worker's house and see if security don't escort you back to your car. And let's be real, the warmth of Caribbean culture is unmatched. Back home, every stranger is a potential family member. The old lady in the market call you baby, even though you're fully grown and your barber know your entire life story. Meanwhile overseas, your neighbors don't even know your name after 5 years of living next to you. So yeah, that pull, it's real, it's powerful, and it brings people back faster than a pot of ackee and sawfish on a hungry stomach. Now, here's where things get really interesting. We always heard that leaving the Caribbean was the key to financial success. Get a job in a big country, send money home, and build wealth, right? Well, turns out a lot of us got played. Yes, you might be earning more in places like the US or UK, but by the time you finish paying sky-high rent, insane utility bills, and taxes that makes your paycheck cry, truthfully, what's really left? People are realizing that they can stretch their dollar way further back home. Alright, let's do some maths, even though I'm not good at it. In places like Toronto or New York, people are paying thousands for a tiny apartment where your kitchen is basically in your living room. Meanwhile, back home, that same money can get you a whole house with land, a mango tree, and a neighbor who randomly brings you food, whether you ask for it or not. And don't get me started on business opportunities. Many Caribbean returnees are realizing they can start a business, buy land, or invest in tourism or agriculture for way less than they would spend just surviving overseas. Who knew? Boy, the first world dream was robbing us blind the whole time. You ever notice when you live abroad, life can get kinda lonely? No random pop-up from friends, no Sunday lunch gathering, and definitely no auntie showing up unannounced to criticize your life choices while handing you a plate of food. Caribbean life is built on community. You go to the market, you are guaranteed to run into someone who knew you from when you were a baby. You feeling sick? Somebody might be bringing you soup to your house before you ask. You need help? You've got cousins, neighbors, or random street vendors ready to give you a hand. And in the end, it all comes down to where you live to get these perks, because the cities are notorious for not caring much, but they're still better than abroad. Compare that to overseas, where you could be sick for 3 days and nobody even notices because everybody's too busy minding their own business. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But in the end, you know, you're not alone. Back home, your mother's cousin's neighbor's friend will hear you sneezing, and suddenly you'll have 3 pots of homemade bush tea sitting on your doorstep. Even though some people are convinced these days by this modern medicine. But truthfully, in the end, this is what people miss: the community. A lot of people leave home thinking they are escaping something. But the truth is, you can take the person out of the Caribbean, but you can't take the Caribbean out of the person. Living abroad forces you to code switch, adapt, and sometimes even hide parts of your culture to fit in. But after a while, many Caribbean nationals start to realize that they miss who they really are. You miss speaking in your accent without people saying, "Wait, what did he say?" You miss playing soca at full volume without nice complaints. You miss the freedom to be unapologetically Caribbean without feeling like an outsider. Returning home is a chance to reclaim that identity, to speak how you speak, eat what you eat, and live how you were meant to live, without having to explain yourself to anybody. Now, I won't sugarcoat things. Moving back has its challenges. Sometimes the internet moves slower than your grandmother telling a long time story. Sometimes you have a deal with government offices that operate on soon come time. Yes, sometimes the power cuts in the middle of your favorite show, and all you can do is sit in the dark and reflect on life. And you have to beware of crime. So choose where you're going. But here's the thing. People are willing to put up with many of these inconveniences because the benefits far outweigh them. And here's the thing. We Caribbean people are built for this. We adapt, we make do, we thrive. If you can fight the difficulties in their country, you can fight it in your country too. So what's the takeaway here? Caribbean nationals are realizing that the grass is greener thing they were chasing was just a well-marketed astroturf. Home is where the real wealth is, not just in money, but in culture, community, and a quality of life that no first world country can match. Let me know if I'm lying, please, because if you notice, their people are moving into the Caribbean too. What does that say to you? People aren't just moving back. They are investing in the Caribbean's future. They are starting businesses, revitalizing communities, and are proving that success doesn't have to mean leaving. Sometimes it means coming back. So tell me, have you ever thought about moving back home? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. And through everything, remember, it's not just a destination, it's the journey. Stay locked in. See ya. God bless.